I'm in front of the MFA again. I made a very special video the other night. However, I deleted it accidentally, and I hope I can recreate it to the best of my abilities. But let me tell you what happened that was so amazing. So this is to my Fort Gibson class of 79 group. And this is actually for Scott Wisely. This is about Scott Wisely because something very interesting happened. Now, I want to tell you who Scott Wisely is. I have not thought of Scott Wisely since I left Fort Gibson High School, and then when I was in Fort Gibson in 2017, you know, a friend of ours, Tammy Harold, who had graduated with us, she was homecoming queen our senior year, and Scott Wisely was homecoming king. Anyway, Tammy and I had become friends on Facebook, and I had been on 3 times, and you know, this is my 4th time back on. But she and I would communicate, and I knew that she had had some bouts with cancer. While I was off, I didn't realize that the cancer had come back. So when we were in Fort Gibson in 2017, I was speaking to one of the Owen twins. We had actually 4 sets of twins in our class. I'm trying to remember today, the Brawleys, Jesse and Julio, the Gonzalez twins, the Owen twins, and the blonde guys. And I'm blanking because I lost all of my annuals in Harvey, and they haven't been replaced. So I'll remember you in just a second. But anyway, I was talking to Kelly Owen at the back of the Fort Gibson church, and he said, did you know that I think it was Del Medico. She had married again. Her name was I don't think it was Del Monaco. I think it was Del Medico. He said, did you hear that Tammy Del Medico passed? And I said, no, and I was kind of blanking. He said, you know, Tammy Harold, and I'm telling you, my heart went down into my stomach, and I just felt awful. Because I had hoped maybe I could have a conversation with her and a lot of people that I had graduated with. It was just, I'm sure you got the memo that it was just a real interesting time. So anyway, but it's interesting. I had not thought of Scott Wisely until I had gone to the memorial service at Fort Gibson High School auditorium, and I'm sitting there. I went by myself. I wanted to be by myself a lot during that time for my own reasons. And there was a man who kind of looked like Kenny Rogers and his wife who sat in front of me. I looked up. I think we looked at each other. I looked away, and I think it was 2 minutes later, I thought, is that Scott Wisely? But I was too embarrassed to say, are you Scott Wisely? Now, here's what I remember about the Wisely family. We moved to Fort Gibson in, I believe it was October 16th, my father's birthday, when we pulled in. And as some of you know, some of these cross over, and I always give this disclaimer, but I will repeat the parts that are prevalent because they're very precious. So Tammy, Melanie, and Annette met me, and I believe the Wisleys came, either they came later that year, maybe when we were sophomores. I can't remember what year they came, so you'll have to remind me, Scott. Anyway, I know that my friend Tammy Lewis lived just a stone's throw from the church building, just a block or 2 from our house, and I believe the Wisleys bought that house, and the Lewises had moved out further into the country. And I don't know which direction that would have been. It's interesting, it feels north, but I don't think that would have been north. So it might have been east, I don't know. So what I do remember about Scott Wisely, now I'm going to tell him myself. And everybody probably knew, because I think I couldn't keep a straight face about some things. I did have a crush on Scott. But when I left Fort Gibson, I never thought anything about Scott. I got so busy at OC. Anyway, okay, Scott, now the whole world knows. There, I said it. All right. So, but as you know, I am married to somebody else. So everything's good. All right, so this was a dream I had the other night, and I have no clue where this came from. So now you have to remind me, Scott, did you wear earth shoes, or am I dreaming that? You know those inverted sole things where the heels were lower than the front part of the shoe, and they were like a suede with some stitching and kind of a square toe. I know I had those. And they were awfully uncomfortable, and somehow we had convinced ourselves that they were the latest rage and were really good for us and were very comfortable. But here was the dream, which was really neat. Now Scott looked like he did when he was in high school. All right, there's another video I make where I make this correction because I said college, and that's what that is. But anyway, he was in high school and I was my age, and we were just talking and having this wonderful, wonderful time. I don't know what we talked about. I have no clue if we were catching up. Then I left. I was happy. He left. He was happy. And I woke up. That's it. That's my Scott Wisely dream. But anyway, I want to show you something that was very pertinent the other night, which I don't believe in coincidences. I believe in these divine interventions. They're always happening with me. So when I was standing out here, I wanted to find out what this statue was. So here's the back of it real quickly. Can't really see it too well. That's okay. So here's what happened. I decided to go. I didn't really look at it too closely. I thought, well, let me just go see what this is about. So I walked in front of it, being a very blonde, clueless as usual about some things. I'm trying to be more aware. You'll be real proud of me. I'm much more focused. All right. Cyrus Edwin Dolan was the sculptor, American, 1861 to 1944. And this is what got me. Appeal to the Great Spirit, 1909. Okay, let's see if you can see the plaque. No, it's not light enough. By the way, the night that I first did this, nobody was on Huntington Ave. So I had come from the Prudential building, which is back that way. Behind this, right between here, okay? The Prudential is on the other side, and I decided to come up Huntington Ave, forgetting that the MFA was here, so I was pleasantly surprised when I pulled up. Okay, so this is what happened when I backed away. Okay, now I am not noticing what this is about. And when I backed up and saw what this beautiful sculpture was, I was completely amazed. Look at this. Let's see if we can get this beautiful sculpture. Oh, fiddlesticks. The light was much better the other night. This Native American has his arms wide open, giving thanks to the heavens. Isn't there a lot to be grateful for? And here I am in front of the Boston Museum of Fine Arts. I wish you could be here with me. What I remember about this is there is a huge Monet collection, you know, the water lilies, and so many other original pieces of art, of course. And so we're going to take a tour in there one of these days, among some other amazing places to go. So I'm going to let you go. There was actually more to the video the other night, but I'm trying to make these shorter and more concise. But when I woke up, I missed everybody in Fort Gibson so much. So I want to come see you and catch up with you. I know some people have passed. Especially my dear friend Sandy. She really was a good friend. She made me feel so welcome when we moved from Brazil. And you know, somebody once asked me, do you know what happened to her? I don't. I really don't. I know we talked, and my memory may not be great. I I don't remember. I just know she said, Denise, something pretty bad has happened and I have to go, but I'll be in touch with you. And she was, until we adopted Monica, and then we got in touch with each other, and we did talk some. She did not want to, for whatever reason, she did not want to get together when I was at Fort Gibson. I did try to contact her, and I hope maybe we would run into each other on the street, but that's okay. You know, people have their reasons. And then my dear friend Cindy called me the day after Sandy had passed, and she said, you know, just want you to know, Sandy passed last night. I don't think I've cried over Sandy since that day. She had a heart of gold. And if anybody deserved all the happiness and the goodness that this world has to offer, it was Sandy. Sandy was a good artist, a friend, a hostess. She and her sister once threw my parents an anniversary party, an Italian anniversary party. And we played Italian music and made spaghetti, and we served them like they were in an Italian restaurant. I'll tell Sandy stories another time. I don't think I've cried for a long time. That was good for me. It was good for me. But I really look forward to seeing you. I don't know when it'll be that I can come see you. My plans, Lord willing, is to go to Oklahoma Christian's homecoming, which is the first week in November. I would love to see a lot of friends. I don't, you know, people don't tend to go to homecoming unless it is a sort of a, I don't know what you would call it, a special year, or if their kids are there. Anyway, we'll see. And because it's 3 hours away, then I could drive there and see you guys. Sorry about my hair. I don't know what to do. Anyway, thank you for putting up with all the different hair do's. But I really would love to see my class of 79 and all of my friends at Fort Gibson. You guys really meant a lot, and it was hard to move. I really thought that I would get back sooner than I did. I think I might have come back maybe once the year after we moved. I do remember the 20th reunion. I'm sure everybody was shocked that the preacher's daughter from the Church of Christ enjoyed dancing so much. It was fun. But I do remember getting the prize for coming the furthest way, coming from Boston. You know, I think my hair was short just like this way back then. You know, it's had many iterations since then. But I really do look forward to seeing you and catching up with all of you. And I do want to know what's happened with all of you since I've seen you, because you have all meant so much to me. And I've taken you in my heart everywhere I've gone, along with I could say this about people from Brazil, Oklahoma Christian, Abilene Christian, you know. And then when I came to Boston, I took Boston to Texas, and I feel like I brought Texas here. And you know something? I love telling people that I grew up in Brazil. I was born in Texas. I grew up in Brazil, high school and college in Oklahoma, a little grad school in Texas, started my career in Boston, moved to Texas in 2020 with my husband, and I moved back first, and he'll be moving back when he can. And all right, this has gone way much longer. Okay, I've got to show you my t-shirt I got tonight. This is green. It represents the big green monster at Fenway, which is the wall that, you know, they built so that the balls wouldn't go out in the street. You know what? And there's a big sit-go sign on the other side, so that's it. Anyway, more to come about Fenway. A lot more to come. Thank you for joining me on Coffee and Good Stuff. And we will see you soon, and we'll put a comma here. Bye bye.